Good morning. Hope you're going well today. So on Friday, the last day of the week. Hopefully we get in and out of trades today, unless you like holding over the weekend. What we see out there? Okay, let's see what we've got. Not too much on today, but a few on my watch list we'll have a look at. And hopefully we'll get a nice little trade in, close the week out. Okay, let's start off with Aussie CAD. Aussie CAD. Right, what do we got? We've got a pullback from the highs, trading through the daily 20, the daily 50, pullback to the daily 20-50 zone, didn't quite catch it, and then we had a big break down. Now little pullback. So are we able to jump on this as an ACB? ACB allows us to get on to a trend when it's kind of in the middle of a big run, but as it does a quick pullback to the 4-hour 50. That's what those two candles are implying. We'll have a look at the 1-hour chart in a moment. But we need to know that this level is a good level for it to reject and go down. So we've got wicks here. We've got, that's probably not really. Okay, we've got a wicks there, just about touching that level. And we've got, yeah, strong level there and strong here. So it's probably a pretty reasonable level. Go back to really convince yourself that it's strong enough. Let's look at the 1-hour chart. What did we get? Did we get a nice ACB? Well, actually we did. Yesterday formed pretty good wedge. Didn't quite hit the 4-hour 50. There's always that risk that it'll bounce off the 1-hour 50 now and go back to the 4-hour 50, which is a bit risky for an ACB entry. But if it does break down below the 1-hour 50, it's about here somewhere, pull back, then we could get an ACB B short. Fibonacci won't work because the distance between R1 and S1, and the 1-hour 50 is in front of the pivot as we trade short. But if you get a pullback and a break down through the 1-hour 50 and a pullback, we could be entering an ACB B short. That could be a nice couple of percent. So keep an eye on that one. We'll go for Euro Pound. So Euro Pound, we've had not a particularly pretty daily looking chart, but we have, let's see if we've got any reason to reject this level. Wicks here. Anything in the near future? I think you have to go back. I've got time to do that now. But we've got a couple of days rejection. Maybe we're going to pull back down to the daily 50. Do we have a MACD? Look at the last two highs. Yeah, all these highs we've got a pretty strong MACD divergence. So we're losing upward momentum, implying that we could be going lower. So that looks okay on the DVP. It's pretty good. On the 1-hour chart now, we have a break of this trend line, which, yeah, it's a pretty reasonable trend line. Broken the 1-hour 50. Now we're looking for a pullback to 382 from these highs here, which is pretty reasonable. You could even take it a little bit higher if you wanted to. Then how far it pulls back. It's not ideal. What we do have is we have a definite trend change to go short, but we now have in the last couple of hours, we put in a lower low, and to pull back for an entry, we need to put in a higher high. So we're now going to have a lower low followed by a higher high. So that isn't ideal. If you get an ABC correction, some complex pullback, then you do kind of break the formation briefly. But this, you're not looking so great now because of that. We could even call that a double bottom with those wicks, producing us a little double bottom there. So not looking so great, and the MACD is a very slight divergence on it. Wouldn't worry about that so much. But keep an eye on it. Maybe you'll fancy it, and you can trade out the daily 50. It may look okay when it sets up. Euro pounds, another 8 hours before it sets up. You can tell if it's do what it's going to do. Keep an eye on it, but yeah, a few little negatives there. Pound CAD. Okay, there's quite a few of these bullish or bearish strong moves from yesterday, but most of them, the 1 hour 50 is too far behind. This one here has a break, pull away from the daily 50. Strong bullish run yesterday. Is it a level now? Not really. So they could keep on going long. And the 1 hour 50 is not too far behind. Still pretty unlikely, I think, that we're going to get a pullback in 8 hours-ish. And the 1 hour 50 will catch up. I think it's a little bit too far gone. But we'll give it a chance and we'll see what it looks like in a few hours' time when it sets up. Keep it on that one. Just a quick pitch note show 1 to 1. Could you go 4 to 1? You probably could. You probably push that. Well, you don't want to go past these highs really. So no, I don't think a hyper trade is on. I think a pitch snatch is the way to go. Thank you. Another pound. So the pound had a big strong move yesterday. Now we are moving up to these highs again, the recent highs here. Worth mentioning because this is quite a strong level. Looking back over on the left here, we've got test there, test, and then extra support here, and then resistance here. So that's a pretty strong level. So we'll be trading through that. Bear that in mind. I would therefore suggest you don't really want to be trading past these highs. So for pip snatcher, if the 1 hour 50 catches up, it does pull back, then you could get a quick 1 to 1 there. Dollar yen. Dollar yen, we have rejection of this level, which is reasonable level. Which yesterday we've got highs here, acting support here, and resistance here. It's a pretty strong level. Makes sense. It's rejecting it. There's a MACD there. Zoom in there. Kind of level, so kind of MACD diversion there. These last two highs, nothing too great. So looking maybe for further pullback. Let's see what we get on our 1 hour chart. Okay, this looks quite nice. We've got a pull down to 1 hour 50. You've definitely got lower highs and lower lows. So you've got a trend change. That'll be an an IBO A. Because I'm pretty sure on the 4 hour we'll also have a trend change. Yeah, we've got a lower high, lower lows in there. Right, so fib lines up well, 382 lines up the daily pivot. We can't take this as a pip snatcher because the 4 hour 50 will be trading through it, which we don't want to do. But if we do get a pullback to the 1 hour 50 here, then we could have a nice little IBO short. We can trade it down to the daily 20 and still get 2%. So that looks pretty good. Do we count this as a double till bottom? Well, we've got, it's a little bit messy, isn't it? It's not really, we'd like to see a nice pull down, roll back, and then straight entry. So the price action isn't great. But if we get a strong pullback and rejection, then that could be a good trade short. All right, last one we'll look at is pound yen, which may set up a little bit later. We're getting rejection from the daily 50. We've been looking at this for a couple of days now. Hasn't broken down below. So had you enter this as a power trend, you'd still be in. Let's look at the 1 hour chart, see if we do get. Okay, so this is why we're waiting for proof of change. We haven't actually got a trend change yet. We've still got lower highs, lower lows. I guess you can say this is a high low. But we haven't got a higher high yet. This is a double top in a downtrend. It's quite bearish. So nothing really convincing on the trend change, but we do, if we get an IBO, it'll break up to this kind of level, then we'll have a higher high and we'll have a higher low put in there. So that tells us there is a trend change on the 1 hour, which is okay. brought back to the 1 hour 50, we can then trade this up to these recent highs. So that could be quite a nice little trade, but we need further development of the price action first. Okay, that's all I have for you today. Let you know, this is going to be the last one I do of these forecasts for a while, because I have other things happening in my life and I won't have time to do these every morning, unfortunately. But of course, when I do get back to doing videos like this, I'll let you know, and I'll post them on my channel. Okay, I wish you all the best for today and for the weekend, and I'll speak to you sometime. Thank you very much. Bye bye.